one of the most ancient and mysterious civilizations that left deep marks on the stage of history, the Sumerians. Rising in the fertile lands of Mesopotamia around 4000 BC, this enigmatic civilization invented writing, established the first city-states, and pioneered advances in science, law, and many other fields. The Sumerians profoundly influenced the civilizations that followed them, leaving lasting traces in trade, mathematics, astronomy, and art. Perhaps for these reasons, or perhaps for others we still do not fully understand, Atatürk showed a remarkable interest in the Sumerians. He compared the Sumerian language with Turkish, searched for cultural connections, spent nights with professors discussing the matter, and even brought in foreign scholars. His curiosity only deepened with every new piece of knowledge. In this video, we will explore Atatürk's support for Sumerian studies and his passion for uncovering the depths of Turkish history. Atatürk, who was profoundly interested in history, opposed the Western thesis that had been imposed for years. In his view, the Turks were not a second-class people but a nation that spread civilization. Moreover, they had not entered the stage of history late. According to him, the Turks had appeared more than 7,000 years earlier and had built great civilizations. He not only researched this himself but also constantly encouraged new investigations. Only 2 years after the War of Independence, he established the Institute of Turkology within Istanbul University, tasked with studying Turkish culture and civilization in areas such as language, literature, and folklore, and publishing its findings. He appointed Mehmet Fuat Köprülü to lead it, and is said to have personally described the logo with these words: Fuat Bey, in front of the snow-covered Tanri Mountains, let there be a grey wolf holding a torch. This torch should symbolize the science of the young Turkish Republic. The grey wolf, which guided us out of Ergenekon, should represent the foundation of the new Turkish state on Anatolian soil. In the following years, history congresses were organized, and under Atatürk's orders, the Faculty of Language, History, and Geography was opened, again serving the same purpose. Within this faculty, a special chair of Sumerology was founded to train Sumerologists. But why Sumerology? Atatürk once said, "The Turkish nation lives in a great homeland distinguished by land and sea borders, lying in Asia to the west and Europe to the east. They call it Turkey. The Turkish homeland is even larger. If we look at both near and distant times, there is no continent that has not been a homeland for the Turks. Throughout the world, Asia, Europe, and Africa have served as homelands for Turkish ancestors. These truths are known from both ancient and especially modern historical documents." While reading a history book in French, Atatürk underlined and annotated with the words important, significant, passage about the Sumerians. The Sumerians may have come from Central Asia, and their language resembles the Ural-Altaic languages. This idea fascinated him, although some Western writers dismissed it with scorn, arguing that barbaric Turks could not have built a civilization. The view grew stronger over time. Jules Oppert, born in 1825 and an expert on the Sumerians and cuneiform, declared in a lecture in 1869 that the inscriptions found in Mesopotamia were Sumerian. He also claimed that the Sumerian language, once analyzed, displayed similarities with Turkish, Finnish, and Hungarian. For this very reason, the Department of Sumerology was founded in Turkey. Previously named Assyriology, Atatürk dismissed this with the words, "Forget about the Semites," referring to the peoples of the Arab lands, Jews, and Arabs. Atatürk did not classify the Sumerians as Semitic. One of the first students of the new Sumerology department was Muazzez İlmiye Çuha. Meanwhile, institutions such as Sumerbank and Etibank, founded by Atatürk's orders, symbolically saluted this ancient past while practically powering Turkey's industrialization with factories and modern enterprises. Over the years, more and more scholars pointed out connections between Sumerians and Turks. Linguistically, Sumerian was an agglutinative language, like Turkish. Historically, Sumerians claimed their first homeland was Arali, Aral, and that they passed through Kafhuzi, the Caucasus. German researcher Ommel found 350 words showing similarities between Turkish and Sumerian. Osman Nedim Tuna, in his work The Historical Connection of the Sumerian and Turkish Languages and the Question of the Age of Turkish, listed 168 common words and argued that the Turkish language extended back to 5000 BC. Russian archaeologist Nikolsky pointed to Turkmenistan as the Sumerian homeland, noting that artifacts from Anav mounds in Turkmenistan and the royal tombs of Ur were virtually identical. Leonard King, in A History of Sumer and Akkad, wrote that lapis lazuli, sacred to the Sumerians, had been used in Turkmenistan. Muhazzez İlmiyeçi would later say, the Sumerians called themselves Kenger. The Kengers were an ancient Turkish tribe. Until now, people said history begins with the Sumerians. From now on, we should say history begins with the Turks. Atatürk prioritized training experts who would uncover Turkish history and provided them with institutions such as the Turkish Historical Society and the Turkish Language Association. To ensure continuity, he even donated his wealth to these institutions, desiring that studies on Turkish identity continue forever. His only pride and legacy was Turkishness. As he said, "Turkish nation, be proud of your history, because your ancestors were creators of civilizations, founders of states and empires. You are not latecomers to Anatolia. You are the children of those who first settled here and founded civilizations. But to trust in your future, you must work today, because pride in history alone is not enough.